What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D Speaks with the MeidasTouch Network. Hey, if you haven't yet, go on over to my YouTube page at Coach D_Speaks and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. So, America, we really have to stop electing idiots. I mean, seriously, how many times have we seen Lauren Boebert go to a committee hearing without any idea what she's going to be discussing on that day? I mean, these people are tasked with getting information, reading that information, going through it with their staffers, and then going into a meeting and understanding the topic that they are going to be engaging on. But not Lauren Boebert. We have seen her many times go into these meetings without any idea what she's talking about. So imagine for a second being someone who is an expert in your field. You have years of education, years of experience, and you go into this committee hearing and you're ready to talk and really get through some work with some members of Congress. And then you have Lauren Boebert, who literally just got her GED a couple of years ago after failing it a few times. You have her questioning you on something that you're an expert in when you know she has no idea what she's talking about.
I'm asking about the EPA, and I'm asking about your rogue bureaucrats that have enacted these unconstitutional regulations. Are you going to repeal them? Are you going to continue to implement them? Or are you going to stop altogether since it's been overturned?
Do you understand the ruling?
So that's the EPA Administrator Michael Regan. And I am so happy that he handled this the way that he did, because he did it the way normal people would. He's sitting there and she's asking these questions and he's looking at her and he's thinking, does this lady know how to read? Has she looked at any of the information coming across her desk? So he looks at her and he says, do you understand the ruling? And you would think she would pause, think for a second, and refer to him, the expert. But no, instead, she went on to embarrass herself even more.
Do you understand the ruling of the Supreme Court?
I do. And so your question is ill-formed. No.
Will you be repealing?
We're not going to stop.
So you're going to unconstitutionally continue with these rulemakings.
Okay, so the tactic that they use to just speak louder than the person who's the expert is done so they can try to avoid being embarrassed. She knew that he was about to correct everything that she was saying. So instead of her allowing the expert to speak, she just spoke louder. She decided, you know what? I don't have to be right as long as I'm the loudest.
We're going to adhere to the Supreme Court and continue to do our...
So which rulemakings are you going to roll back?
We're going to adhere to the Supreme Court and continue to do our work in accordance to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court.
So which ones are you going to repeal?
The Supreme Court didn't tell us to repeal anything.
They have been deemed unconstitutional.
No.
Absolutely, they have. This was a huge victory.
So again, she chose to go with the tactic of trying to speak louder than the expert in the room. But his laugh at the end was everything, because his laugh told you how embarrassed he was for her, but it also told you that he was thinking, God damn, I have multiple degrees in this subject. I have over 20 years of experience in this subject, but I have to sit here with Lauren Boebert, who got her GED 3 years ago after failing the test about 3 times. I have to sit here and listen to her question me on my expertise when I know she didn't even read any of the information. But then Dan Goldman takes the microphone and he does something I would never be able to do. He decides to be polite and respectful while explaining to Lauren Boebert what she was wrong about.
Mr. Regan, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I would just like to clarify a few things for my colleague from Colorado. The Loper-Bright ruling, as you know, said that the courts should not defer to agency rulemaking if a statute is ambiguous, and instead the courts get to determine whether or not what the statute means. Is that your understanding as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that would not require any regulations to be reversed or overturned, correct?
Correct.
And that part is exactly why I could never be a member of Congress. I just don't have it in me to be that polite and respectful. If I were in a meeting and we were discussing a topic and it was obvious most of us knew what we were talking about, but a couple of people didn't and they were trying to be the loudest in the room, I'd probably look over at them and say, hey, shut the hell up. We all know you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Stop wasting our time and allow the adults to handle this topic. America, please, let's please stop electing idiots. Period.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.